Welcome to The Silent Verdict.
With Clara Monroe and Elias Gray.
All right, think about this for a second. In the world of law, a judge's final word is supposed to be permanent. It's etched into legal history. But what happens when that final word just disappears?
It's a fascinating and, frankly, a pretty unsettling question. We're talking about a situation where an official court ruling, something that should be concrete and binding, was just pulled back from the public record.
And this wasn't some minor correction. Having a judge's entire opinion get withdrawn is incredibly rare. It's a huge red flag that something has gone profoundly wrong. So let's unpack this mystery.
The whole story kicks off not with a simple typo in a draft, but with a massive error discovered in a finalized, officially filed judicial opinion.
You know, courts might issue a little revision for a spelling mistake, but this was on a whole other level. The document was just riddled with information that simply didn't exist. It was almost like reading a ghost story written in legal jargon.
So what were these phantoms in the legal machine? Well, as lawyers and observers started looking closer at the ruling, they found errors that were so bizarre, they all pointed to one very, very modern culprit.
The list of mistakes was just staggering. We're talking about quotes that were never said, attributed to judges who never said them. Decisions from other cases were completely twisted. And the real kicker, it cited legal cases, the very bedrock of a ruling, that were entirely fictional, made up. And this brings us to our prime suspect. These kinds of confident, detailed, yet completely fabricated mistakes are a telltale sign of what we call an AI hallucination. It's when a language model basically invents facts to answer a question.
The errors weren't just wrong, they were weirdly and creatively wrong. So much so that, as some observers put it, the errors just stank of AI. The fingerprints of artificial intelligence were all over this document.
And that right there is the million-dollar question. The legal system is specifically designed with layers of protection to stop exactly this from happening. So where did everything break down?
To understand the failure, we first have to understand how the system is supposed to work. It's a process that relies heavily on meticulous human oversight.
Think of it as a series of gates. First, a lawyer makes an argument and has to back it up with real case law. Then, the opposing lawyer gets to attack those citations, looking for any weakness. And finally, the judge and their clerks act as the last line of defense, supposedly verifying everything before a decision is ever made.
At its heart, this system runs on a trust but verify model. Every single person in this chain has a professional duty to check the facts. The entire structure is built on that foundation of human accountability. So if the process is supposed to be that robust, how did it fall apart so completely? How did all this phantom information manage to slip past every single guard?
This is really where the ideal system crashed head-on into reality. It's designed so every citation is real, every fact is checked, but in this case, the whole thing became a house of cards built on fake cases and fictional quotes because somewhere along the line, a critical check was missed.
And that is the truly shocking part. This phantom information slipped past every single checkpoint and was signed by a judge. It transformed from a complete fiction into, for a brief moment, the actual law of the land. Now, this one case is alarming enough, but its implications ripple outward. It suggests a much larger and potentially hidden problem for the entire legal system. And here's why that matters so much. Law builds on itself. If this ruling had been allowed to stand, another lawyer down the road could have cited one of these non-existent cases as real precedent. The AI's hallucination could have started breeding, infecting future legal arguments and decisions.
So this ghost was caught and exorcised. But it leaves you with a really chilling thought. How many others are out there? How many other AI-generated fictions are just lurking in legal documents waiting to be cited as fact?
Ultimately, this story isn't about a rogue AI. When you boil it all down, it's about human responsibility in an age of incredibly powerful new tools.
And this isn't an isolated incident. Not at all. Courts are now dealing with multiple cases where attorneys have been caught and fined for submitting legal briefs just filled with AI-generated nonsense. It is absolutely becoming a pattern.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? Blaming the technology is not an excuse. "My AI did it" is the new "my dog ate my homework." In the legal profession, the work you submit is your responsibility, period. You can't just outsource your professional duty to a chatbot.
And that really brings us to the bottom line. The problem isn't the tool, it's the user's failure to verify the truth. AI is a powerful assistant, but it is not a truth machine. The final, unavoidable responsibility for accuracy rests with the human professional using it. And we'll end on that thought. This case is a stark reminder that as our technology gets better and better at mimicking reality, our own human commitment to verifying the truth becomes more important than ever. The answer, at least for now, has to be us.